We want to get to the line 80% in shape and 100% healthy rather than the other way around. Let's refer back to the earlier slide I had of Ashton Eaton. Harry Mara, by the way, was Ashton's coach, where Ashton was on the ground looking half dead after the 1,500 meters. Remember why he was half dead? He was half dead because he was 80% in shape. But he was 100% healthy, and none of his training took away from his speed and power events, the other 9 events of the decathlon. This is important. These are silhouettes of like cross-country guys. And any sprint coach that looks at these silhouettes, kind of throw up in their mouth a little bit, because these are not sprint mechanics. Speed creates endurance, but endurance negates speed. Cross-country coaches hate me when I say that, because they think you can get faster by running slow. They've read all of Clyde's stuff, and you can't. Your mechanics are going to be, if you do a lot of distance running, you will not have sprint mechanics. It's just not going to happen. But I think it's also important to realize that if you can run 23 miles an hour, you might be able to run 19 miles an hour for a long way. That's why speed creates endurance. If you can only run 19 miles an hour, how long can you run 19 miles an hour? There you have it. That's why we want to be as fast as we can be. Let me repeat, endurance never creates speed. It never creates speed. It's totally different. That's why we'd never have an aerobic or endurance focused practice. We don't even say those words. Those words are like illegal to say in a Feed the Cats program. So this guy may run stadium stairs for an hour. It might be a hell of a workout, and he might lose 5 pounds and look incredibly fit and all that stuff. But he will is much more likely that he will actually be slower in the 40-yard dash 2 days later. So he's actually lost speed. Also want to mention sprint capacity. It's a little bit different than the endurance stuff. The typical basketball, football, track coach wants to get their guys in shape by running them hard multiple times. Picture, you're going to run 20, 40-yard dashes. That is sprint capacity. Well, the best way to improve sprint capacity is to not practice sprint capacity. It's actually getting faster. Getting faster improves sprint capacity. Let me explain why. If this guy can run 23 miles an hour, I think he could run 20 miles an hour 20 times. But if he practices every day by running 20 times, none of those times will he be improving his speed, because he will be running at a sub-max. Sprint capacity is a sub-max thing. It's still high effort, and it's still hard, and it's still close to game speed, but it is not absolute speed. Remember, the faster you can run, the more you can run at speeds close to that top speed. It was Lateef Thomas that said to me 8 years ago, if you improve your maximum speed, you improve your submax speed. What he's talking about there is speed reserve. Let's talk about lactate workouts. I think it's important to understand, first of all, how my lactate workouts are very, very difficult. They're not difficult in their volume, they're difficult in their effectiveness, how fast we run. I call this lactate war zone, and I got some criticism for this from Ryan Banta from Sprinter's Compendium, that somehow I'm allowing my guys to show weakness. And what I told him was, I don't think that his team has ever run this hard. That's the only thing I can think of, because these guys are not weak. And my guys finished the 400 as well as anybody does. So if anybody thinks that somehow this is showing weakness, it is not. What is a lactate workout? Well, first of all, you have to be running at goal 400 pace or faster. Remember when I said that that Clyde Hart's guys were running 450s, I believe, in 54 seconds or something, and you know, I said that's still a little bit slower than goal pace if you're a 46-second guy. Well, we are running at goal pace or faster. So we are literally running faster than Clyde Hart's guys would ever run in practice. They just run a lot more. It is typically for us 15 to 25 seconds of sprinting. Now, Clyde is on record saying that you have to sprint for 40 seconds to have lactate produced, and I have visual evidence otherwise. Now, if you're running at sub-max paces, I totally agree. You're going to have to run 40 seconds, but if you're running at goal 400 pace or faster, then you can start producing lactate at around 20 seconds. We always have incomplete rest. The whole idea is that we're going to learn how to run when we are in a slight state of fatigue and we are somewhat poisoned with acidosis. We need enough rest to repeat the previous rep. So even though it's incomplete rest, it has to still be enough, because it does no good for us to go out and run fast and then slow and then die on the third one. You must be poisoned before starting the final rep. That's a key. You can't go like slow, faster, fastest. You must have that acidosis going. The whole idea here is we are going to learn to run with high lactate levels, and also for our body's physiology to take care of the lactate and get rid of the acidosis. You never allow failure. I'm a huge believer in this, that if all of your kids fail a lactate workout, it's not their fault. It's yours. You did it too early. You didn't give enough rest. You didn't sell it well enough. So you never allow failure, never accept failure. The total volume is very low. As I said earlier, in the last 5 years, I think the biggest one we did was 600 meters total. This year, because I was going to have such a great 4x4 team, we would have gotten to an 800 meter workout. That's total meters in the workout. I say you need to sell it. Man, you need to sell it. When I go to a lactate workout, I am highly caffeinated, excited. I believe I can create an atmosphere in practice around a lactate workout that's better than the atmosphere of most meets. And that's what you have to truly improve. Remember, you don't get extreme results from moderate exercise. You get extreme results from extreme exercise. Our goal is biochemical toughness. I don't believe in the old-fashioned toughness of having people practice for 3 hours, running up hills and all that kind of stuff. Just doing crazy things that somehow, the more tired we can get, the tougher we become. Remember, tired is the enemy, not the goal. We are looking for our body's ability to deal with the pollution that comes from sprinting far. And remember, we always sell it as well as, hey guys, tomorrow we have a day off. When they all look like, the lactate war zone picture that I just showed you, I'm telling them, hey, tomorrow, day off. You go home after school tomorrow. Hormesis is one of my favorite topics, even though it's very pharmacological. Paracelsus said that everything's a poison, nothing's a poison. It all depends on the dosage. So even like 500 years ago, we knew that there were things that probably, we shouldn't be eating because it's poisonous, but in small amounts, it seemed to have a positive effect. And then Scholl's 200 years ago said, for every substance, small doses stimulate, moderate doses inhibit, large doses kill. That's why people say everything in moderation. Well, I say everything in low dose. So we are not optimum dose. We are not maximum dose for sure. We are constantly wanting to accept small wins, like I should have learned at the craps table a long time ago, that we want to go home ahead. We do not want to ruin tomorrow. Now, this happens to some of our runners. Besides looking like they're half dead, they sometimes will throw up because you get so acidic through glycolysis that the body responds. You know, if your pH drops below 7.1, you die. You know, so it's pretty important that homeostasis takes over and you throw up some acid from your stomach, and that makes you feel better right away. So anytime you have somebody who throws up after the second run, they say, "Coach, I'm sick." You know, you say, "No, you're not sick. You're acidic. You're going to be fine." So we have 3 different lactate workouts. We have the 23-second drill. We have the 4x4 predictor. One of them is a super fast one that we do on windy days, which is 3 times 150, or the 3 times 200. 2 different predictors. We're going to talk about these in a minute. And we also have the critical zone workout that we have not done this for 5 years, but like I said, this year we would have progressed to doing this one time. I think it's a great workout, but it's very difficult.